Alright, both Spidey heads back on. More specifically, the eyes. And I know I read Sideshow Freaks. I don't always comment on there, but I'm around. I'm like a fucking spectre looming of a fucking community, making sure things are happening correctly. So yeah, I'm around. So I read, see what people put, and the discussion on the eyes. Should there be yellow lenses? Should there be chrome lenses? Should the surround be blue or should it be black? Now, I've got to say on this, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck either way. For me, I think watching the film, I think most of the time, and the poster shots sort of come across a chromed eye lens. There is times when the light catches it in films and it has got a yellow sheen to it. Now, that could be the scenery lighting or whatever, but I wouldn't know 100%. I couldn't say to you 100%, no, it is a blue surround and it is a yellow lens, or it is black and fucking chrome. I don't know. I don't know. So what I can tell you is which I prefer, and I've got to say I prefer the Medicom one, and I will show you close. Inside there, it has sort of got, it's got like a plastic cover, and underneath that plastic cover, it's got like a perforated chrome inside. It catches the light better. I think it looks more menacing, and then the surround is sort of really, really dark blue. So yeah, I do like that. Looking at the Hot Toys one, it is like, this one looks like the pattern of the lens is actually on the plastic. It's got a yellow tint to it and the surround is black. I don't know which has got the better shape or more accurate, but like I said, the head in general to me I prefer on the Medicom one. I don't think that one's strong enough. I don't think it's defined enough with like a cheekbone or a jawline or whatever. And I do prefer the silver looking lens over the yellow one. So on the eyes, I'm giving that to the Medicom one. Right, it's articulation time, and before I even start getting creative on your ass, I'm going to say neither version come with a stand of any note. So I'm pretty much using the new Goblin stand to elevate him and grip him, and I'll be using the Iron Man Mark 6 stand to elevate and grip the other one. And then what I'm going to talk about is which articulates better, and then also which looks better in that position, or which the suit then looks better, sort of thing. And then I'm also going to talk about the body, so stick with me. Right, articulation's done. I'm gonna, what should I start with? I'm gonna start with bodies. Fucking hell, that was a decision. I'm gonna start with the body underneath the outfit, and I will say that I'll start with the Medicom one. The Medicom one, when you put it in a position, it stays there. It, like I said, the costume sometimes tightens up around it, but it's rock hard. The joints are hard and stiff. There's no ratchet effect. It is smooth and nice and everything. There is limitations to where it'll go. Obviously, the limbs are slightly bulkier, but I think that's as Spider-Man as you're going to get. Say got like a pretty wide spread in his legs, the suit's tightening up a little bit, but what I will say is it still looks, the body proportions still come through. He's still got the bicep, you can still see his strong legs. Underneath you can see where his arse cheeks go together, and it does look pretty realistic. I do like that pose. It's nice, pretty extreme. Yeah, tough. The body don't creak. You don't think, I'm gonna break this in a minute. Fucking let me go easy out like that. And saying there is enough slack left in the costume so it don't keep snapping back to a standing position. So yeah, that is a really, really good body. And some people have said Medicom bodies break up over time. That might be the case, I don't know, but this one doesn't feel like it, so I hope it's not the case. Just to give you a show around that pose, I do like that. Pretty much swinging, even put the web in his hand, balancing his stem with his backhand, one leg bent, one leg straight. Even got the feet, one tucked down, one curling up. Nice pose. The Hot Toys body is shit, I think, and I'll tell you that for a reason. I think my shoulders inside are pretty much fucked, both of them now. They're really, really fragile. Can you imagine trying to put something like the Black Widow into extreme poses, or the Catwoman into extreme poses? You know that because there's not a lot of material there or a lot of plastic, it's going to be fragile. That is how this felt out of box. I pretty much think the right shoulder weren't right when it first come, and the left shoulder I think I've just broke. I'm not sure. I can't take the suit off to look, but inside when you're moving it around, you can sort of feel the inner shoulder mechanism moving around with arms. So what you have to do is hold it with your left hand, hold the shoulder mechanism, put some compression onto that, and then move the arm. I can still pose it and everything, and the suit's obviously holding it inside, holding it in place. But I think if I were to pull that arm, you would see a split between the arm and the body, because I do think that the shoulders are broke inside. But like I say, if they are, I've done them myself. If they're not, and that's how it's supposed to be, it feels fucking weird. I would say as well, I think mine is still the only review on this figure on YouTube, so if people are still waiting to receive it, I would say be very, very, very careful with your shoulders, because they don't feel that strong. Like I say, and I might as well fucking tell the truth, because there's no way anyway I would ever sell this figure and not say that the shoulders weren't right. I fucking hate people who do that, who sell things that aren't what they're seeing. So I think as it stands, I've got a funny feeling that both shoulders are broke on this, but it's like, I can't show you. I will show you in a minute. I'll show you what I mean. But anyway, because of the suit and because the shoulder mechanism is still in the right place, it will still articulate, and it still looks... You wouldn't know. You'd have never known if I'd not just told you, but I want to be fucking honest anyway. So yeah, the body is wank. The legs creak when you move them, although, you know, when you push your figure up, you think, oh, it's going to stop in a minute. With this, it never really does. You can pretty much twist it all up in here and its hips, push the legs nearly so the double... In fact, that's as tight as the leg will go, but like, look how tight that leg is, but look how tight that leg is. That's nearly double jointed back. I've left it in the pose like that because he's sort of got that foot against the what I wanted to show as a flagpole, and he's leaping off. Balance, and I wanted it to be slightly different to that. So of the two poses, I actually prefer that pose, but this would have done that pose easier than that figure could have, sort of thing. But that's a little bit similar to a pose I put in that review. So I just wanted to show. The arms, elbows get really tight on this, tighter than the Medicom one does. But just talking about the bodies, the Medicom body is 5 times better than the Hot Toys body. The Hot Toys body were built for articulation, but because of that, it's very lightweight and it's very fragile. And like I said, if I could repair the shoulders, I probably wouldn't anyway, because I've got a feeling they'd still break again. I never got this figure to fucking just stand there on a shelf and not articulate. So while it's still articulating and the shoulder inside's not trapping the body, then I'm happy to leave it. If I'm not, I'll buy another one and I'll fucking give this fucker away, I don't know. But yeah, so the body underneath, the Entercom is the better body. Enter-fucking-com, what am I saying? The Medicom is the better body. Articulation wise, no competition. The Hot Toys one will do anything that your imagination can do. I actually were looking at some poses last night, and most of what I could find, this one will do. Little bit of fucking pressure, and like your head's thinking, I'm gonna fucking snap something else in a minute, but like I said, this will do anything that you can think of, really. No limitations as such. But yeah, articulation, Hot Toys takes it, but the body underneath, Medicom takes it. Right, rolling on to value. And before I start that, let's just get one thing straight. This camera. Just got the Medicom version, just dangling. Spider-Man pose. The web, holding him up. Just got his right hand on his thigh there. Left hand, sorry. And then the Hot Toys one, nice deep crouching position for you. Pretty much like that Seen It movie, I think he gets down in a position like that. So yeah, multiple poses in Uncut Clippers videos, you know what I mean? If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. There's not much more I can do for you. But you're going to get these fucking poses, and you're going to get my thoughts in most videos. So if you do like collectibles, you should have really subscribed already. If you haven't, I'm lost for words. Anyway, value. Pretty easy one to score this. The Enterbay, fucking hell, brought Enterbay into the equation for some reason. The Hot Toys one I bought day of release, and I paid £167 I think to a Hong Kong seller on eBay. Sent it really fast, came well packaged and everything, and so yeah, that's what you get for 167 quid. This one, it's been out longer, but I bought it again from a seller on eBay. I got EMS shipping with this one, and I did a buy now or best offer, and I sort of talked him down for price, but then he gave me EMS shipping, so it took the price back up, and I paid £110 for that. So there's a £57 like deficit in the prices. Now what I would say is, although this one brings the head, all in all it's pretty much same. Obviously your box is better and all that, it's more presentational, shit like that. But I don't honestly think there's a £57 difference, because even taking into account one category is better on one and one's better on another and all that sort of thing, I don't think there's that much difference in the figure. I would be happy to have either or, and I suppose it's dependent on what you want to use the figure for. So value wise, I'm going to give it to the Medicom one. Right, let's bring this bitch to an end because my camera's going flat. Sum it all up for you. As you see, I've got them back posed pretty upright, and I put them back like that because what I said about the Spider-Man shoulders, I know they fucked inside. I would think they're proper fucking ragged, I don't know, but it doesn't bother me because, like I said, they're sitting in the right place and I can still articulate it. I can still sort of, the upper part or the outer shoulder part of the mechanism still working, so the arm's still attached and everything. I think it's something deep down inside where it connects onto the inner part of the chest. I could just, it says sometimes, you can hear it, listen. Something loose in there, I don't know. Like I said, I don't give a fuck. I'll either order another body or whatever. It doesn't really hinder the look of the figure, and nobody would know if I'd not set up. But anyway, I digress. Overall, I pretty much scored them evenly. The Hot Toys won on some categories, Entebbe won on others. You might agree with some, you might disagree with others, but like I said, these are just opinions, and I'm not saying my opinion's more valid than anybody else's just because I've got both figures, because you can look at pictures and say, well, I don't like that one because of this, and I don't like that because of that. So like I say, I'm not trying to say I am the god of Amazing Spider-Man, listen to my raw sort of thing. I'm not saying that at all. But I have done it as honestly as possible. Right, this is what I would say to sum it up. Value-wise, if you're looking to pick up a nice figure and you've got a limited budget and you want to have a representation of the Amazing Spider-Man and you don't want to pay over odds, then I would say go for the Medicom one. If you want the brand new thing, the new kid on block, and you want to then have your opinion and do your photos and everything, then buy the Hot Toys one. That's what I would say. The Medicom one's been out about a year, I think, and not everybody jumped on it. In fact, I knew very little about it before I got it myself. So yeah, if you wanna buy a figure to stand with your other Marvel figures and sort of have them in a group shot sort of thing, then I would advise go for the Medicom one, because I do think the scale's better, and I do think it would complement your other Marvel figures better than this one would, because all that the other figures would do to this one would be make it look smaller and weaker looking, so it wouldn't do it any favours. So again, if that is the case, then buy the Medicom one and leave the Hot Toys one. If you want to display the figure on its own and go mental with a pose and set up some kind of mid-air display or swinging or some kind of pose or a hyper-articulated pose, then I would say go for the Hot Toys one. But if you do that, bear in mind the figure is very fragile. So I don't want nobody to go and say, well, you said it was articulated to fuck, I got it, I've moved its shoulders and the fucker's broke. I've told you that as well. It will articulate, but it runs a risk. Again, I would think if you just want to, I'll put it like this. I like both. I think they both got really strong points and really weak points. I think that. But my favourite figure in the collection, and you wouldn't think it, where I've got it displayed at minutes on top of the cabinet. My favourite figure, and probably has been for about 8 months now, is the Dx12 Batman. I think when you've got it posed right, you put some odd bits and bobs on it, like a Tony My cape, and you go to town on it, you do the modification like I did in the video, sort of to tighten his body up and everything. When that's done, and the neck mod and everything else, the hand mod, that's my favourite figure. You can do a lot to it, and when it's done and it's in cabinet and it's lit properly, it looks like a shrunk down version of Batman. And I constantly, this is a figure I come to, fucking let me kneel down. This is the figure I'll come to, and you'll probably have one yourself in your collection. When you're doing that and you come and you look at your collection, you'll come and you're like, just fucking, he's had a little tilt. Tinker, that's what I call tinkering about. Or do that. whatever, you try and push his neck down a tiny bit, or you just move his gauntlet a tiny bit, just to get that perfect thing, so you can step away, you've not really done out, and you think, oh, fucking beautiful. And that is the figure for me. Now, if I only take these two into account, I'm moving back up, the one I've tinkered with most this week, and the one I keep coming back to and think, if I do that, it'll look perfect, and if I do this, it'll look perfect, and let me change this hand for this one, and let me mess about, and let me turn its ankles in, and let me do this. The one that I've done that with, and I don't know if this means that I prefer it, is the Medicom one. And that is the honest truth. Do like the Hot Toys version. Like I say, it has got its strong points, but all in all, I think I prefer this one at the moment. And the honest truth is, if I were to sell, well, I'm going to sell some figures. If I were to sell either one of these today, the one up for sale would be the Hot Toys one. And that is the truth. And this is a Clipper King, and I'm out of here. Let the comments begin.